How good. Sponsors.
Oh, I'll use autocorrect next time.
We want sponsors, not sponsors. Although I'm assuming we'll take both.
Dealing with a pack of...
Let's get into it.
All right,
live.
let's do it.
Live.
Brilliant.
Welcome to the Magoos. We're back for round 3 of the AFL season. Round 2's behind us, Ben, and more questions, more talking points than ever.
Heaps.
What did you take away from round 2?
A lot of, well, maybe not upsets, but they upset me, my tipping.
Yeah, tipping.
It's back, because I got 9 in round 1 and then 3 last round.
Okay, yeah, tipping. Yeah, tipping's not my...
Not your thing.
I do it, just not very successfully. Yeah. I got 4 last week, so I was ahead of the curb in round 2, but I was a long way gone. I think already by round 1. I think you said you got the perfect 9 round 1. I think I managed a measly 5, so I was holding up both the competitions that I was in, and then, but yeah, some of the results were not conducive to good tipping, were they?
No, but that's footy. We're back.
Anything can happen.
Exactly right. I mean, last week your boys they did me.
The boys. The Blue Boys, yeah.
They finally had a bit of expectation, a little bit of hype. I tipped them. What happened?
They didn't handle it, did they? They didn't. I think I saw somewhere Mark Murphy said that they might have got ahead of themselves. I'm not sure how you get ahead of yourselves after you lose by 5 goals. But
your mate, Captain Murph.
Captain Mark, didn't really endear himself. Obviously doesn't use this podcast as a motivating factor, Mark, because it didn't...
Shave your head, Mark.
Again, didn't endear himself. Just hard balls are fine. Didn't endear himself again over the weekend. But Lou's Cruiser is obviously... I might go to the point of saying Matthew Cruz is underrated in the AFL. I don't know if that's maybe just from a Carlton point of view, but...
I think he's rated by the right people.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the Magoos, I rate him. Do you rate him?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when he's not there, you realise
he was stiff. He was stiff last year not to get an All-Australian night. I mean, Paddy had a great year. But here's my question. Why is there room on the bench for a ruckman in a game that doesn't get played?
It's very true. It's if, we can't go too tall.
No, I know. Play with all the height.
Yeah, just be tall. Yeah. Just, pick 5 ruckmen.
Exactly. Have Sandy in your forward pocket. It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't.
I don't get it. They actually don't play anyone.
You can play 2 ruckmen.
But would you say Cruz, although actually all the D supporters out there would say Baxi Gawn.
I mean, I'm not saying that he's the best of the best, but he's definitely top 5. And I mean, Carlton showed that on the weekend. They missed him terribly and then replaced him with Paulson, one of the smallest people on the list, and the whole structure was just out. So Carlton were disappointing in a round of, as you started with, disappointments. Yeah. Tipping-wise, your boys as well. Yeah,
I watched that game. They were pretty disappointing. However, Freo, not bad.
Good.
Not bad at all. At home, good to watch. I think they're going to be hard to beat over in Perth. They usually, last year not as much, but for some reason Ross Lyons got that defensive mode back on. We couldn't get through their zone.
They were good.
They smashed it.
It was a good game of footy.
It was.
I thought. I mean, there was a couple of really good games to watch over the weekend. We obviously started slowly because...
The Good Friday bash.
Yeah, the Adelaide-Richmond last Thursday night that we were on before was a solid game of footy. But then, the Good Friday game, as I said last week on the podcast, that the AFL didn't really want it to be successful because they didn't want it to... They wanted to play and give people something to watch, but giving it to a couple of minnows.
Do you think that's a strategic effort?
I mean, North Melbourne are playing some good footy, but their good footy is not overly watchable footy. I don't think. They have a crack, but they're very limited in their capabilities.
Plus, there's a lack of atmosphere, which even if you're watching on TV, that impacts the game. Watching it, even if it is a good game, there's only 10,000 there. It's just not.
Yeah, and St Kilda are so far away from, I think, where we thought they'd be, where a lot of people thought they'd be. I mean, I know they're 1-1, and you come up this week and it doesn't really matter, but they're not playing the sort of football. I mean, they got over the line against Brisbane and then got humbled by North Melbourne, really, which is not a sentence you thought you'd say.
You just don't know where we're sitting at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions still to be answered. I think obviously, we're only round 2, but even just looking through the games this week, Carlton Collingwood, one of them is going to be zipping 3, and
I reckon it might be a draw.
I don't think either.
Hopefully they're both zipping 3.
I don't think either team will make the finals, but the pressure starts to mount, doesn't it? I mean, on either one of those teams, should one of them go zipping 3. Port Adelaide and Brisbane is not a bad little. I'm not going to go through every single game, but I'm just ticking a few off. Sydney GWS is big.
That is huge.
Because Port Adelaide rolled them on Easter Sunday, didn't they?
Port were your roughie at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I had them as, well, not so much a rough. I actually genuinely think they're good. And I reckon they could be the team to beat now, I reckon. Sydney at home as well.
Yeah, it's a big win, isn't it?
Huge win.
It's
they got everyone.
Yeah, they seem to be just firing beautifully. I mean, you just obviously have to be wary whether or not it's a flash in the pan or whether it's it'll be a sustain. I mean, Port Adelaide have usually sort of faded in and then they fade out sort of thing. So if they can go 3-0, I mean, they're hosting Brisbane, so, they can sort of leave a few teams behind. But, I mean, against St Kilda Adelaide, one of them emerges 1 and 2. I mean, Adelaide played beautifully last Thursday night. I thought
they played great. Yeah.
Talk about watchable football. I mean, some of the football that they played last week, led by
the big Texas back
and Bryce Gibbs. I was going to say, I mean, he's just in some great form.
He was
not unfortunately. I mean,
for my Supercoach team.
Yeah, captain
Supercoach. Let's not go too far.
Last week, last week, game of the round by a country mile was Monday.
What a game.
Geelong Hawthorn.
Monday.
We were all watching it here, and we were he wasn't here, but none of us who were here go for either team, and we were out of our seats. I
wasn't here either.
It was crazy. Well, he wasn't either.
Yeah.
Actually, one of us wasn't out of our seats. He had a bit of food poisoning, but
Did you
he
watch
couldn't
the game
be with
by
us
yourself?
tonight. It's just me. And I was out of my seat,
it.
but that's because the seats were actually getting dry cleaned out the back, so I had actually nowhere to sit.
Standing room only.
Look, I was out of a seat. It was incredible. There's heaps to talk about. Hawthorn, are they back?
Surely not.
It's
They're
just
back. They didn't even have a whole
scary.
season of being shit.
It's just scary because they're back to, but it's new. It's a different Hawthorn.
Yeah.
It's not as if they just had like a down year. Like we might look back at the Dogs after they get out of this form. Something go, well, their 2017 was just a bad year, or their 2017-18 was just a bad stretch. They've got different players and. It just looks the same as the old Hawthorn. I mean, like Tom Mitchell is incredible. Yeah. He's just an absolute ball magnet in every sense of the word.
He's had 94 touches in 2 weeks.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Like, I mean...
94?
I didn't have 94 my whole junior career. I was ruckman, but still.
This is apples and oranges, though. I think we're getting into it.
I don't know. We're talking about Granny Smith and what's another one that we've... Fuji. Actually, Pink Lady was my favourite.
But
just for the...
Aren't we then comparing apples and apples?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm up there with... Just move on.
Yeah, but the Hawks are scary good. I think that, people were saying, after the game on Twitter and stuff like that they're going to, cause a few headaches, a few upsets. I don't think that they'll be upsets. I think that they're a top 4 side. Like, at their best, they're them now. It's not Hawthorn might sneak into the 8 if it's... this is ominous form. This is terrifying.
How long has Ruffy been getting the job done for now?
He's one of those guys that, he's obviously played in a good side for a lot of his career. Yeah. And I think, again, he goes under the radar a little bit. And then you just go, they just churn out match-winning performances in match-winning moments.
But he's always got that juke. He's always marking one deep in the square, deep in the game. That's close.
And, it seems,
always
even your Ben Strattons of the world, those sort of guys who... have gone along and 2 or 3 time premiership players, and you sort of take that for granted a little bit. But now that they've been asked to, step up and be, number one, now that Gibson's gone and Burgoyne was hurt on the weekend, guys like that you see around, just taking that step up and really proving themselves as now the front line for Hawthorn, and it's just scary.
Not to mention what could be the pickup of 2018, Jarman Impey.
Yeah, isn't he good?
What the hell?
Lightning.
Yeah, lightning just breaks the line every single time, and he does something with it as well. He doesn't just break it and then kick it out.
He's a very good pickup, isn't he? For a steal too. I don't think they gave up too much.
No, I don't think so.
Which is just incredible.
Port were clearing shop though. They're after a big prize. Motlop.
Yeah,
Stevie. But he's even been playing well there. I didn't think he would be.
No, he's been playing
he does
games.
glimpses, but he hadn't done glimpses for a while at Geelong.
Yeah. No, he gets his 100 and whatever points on Supercoach. Sorry to bring it up again.
Yeah, we're going back down there.
But he doesn't impact games. He's just the same old Motlop.
Yeah. In a good side, he'll contribute and try and make Geelong regret letting him go for 8-10.
So speaking of Geelong, same game. Same super contributions. The big 3. What are they calling it?
The big 3. The
Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity.
The Danger Woodlet, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Danger Woodlet.
They had, 35 touches, 31, 29. Danger had 2 goals. The others had 1 each. Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Still couldn't get it done.
It's question marks, isn't it, unfortunately? I've got Geelong finishing really high this year and then watching I mean, they lost by a point and they came from the clouds with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just how much, people can... The question was last year, the quality of the depth. And, I mean, and I know that Lockie Henderson's not playing at the moment, but their backline looks so...
Harry Taylor wasn't playing either.
So Henderson and Taylor were both out.
Obvious holes down there.
But they were, I know I heard Chris Scott speaking, and it's not the plan to have Guthrie on... Roughhead in that instance.
I don't think that's anyone's plan ever.
He was just getting manhandled. And was it O'Connor? Is that the Irish?
O'Connor. Yeah.
He was, he was involved in a one-on-one contest as well early in the last quarter with Roughhead.
Went to ground twice as well on the wing.
Yeah. And they were just, there was just key aspect of if, Harry Taylor and Lockie Henderson, I think if one of those guys were playing, then they probably win the game.
Yeah.
But, it's all about timing and fitness and those sort of things.
I mean, realistically, they should be 0-2. Melbourne lost that game round 1. And I reckon they'll be 1-2 after this week. They play West Coast away. So
isn't that a cracker to finish off the round?
That would be a great game as well.
Sort of one of the... Might sound like we're sort of overhyping the AFL.
I've been overhyping everything.
But I genuinely believe that, these...
so comfy. So a few tweets come in during the week. One from your mate, Div. Going back on what we're talking about, Geelong Hawthorn.
Yep.
The question is, will we ever see another coach last as long as Clarko in the modern era?
Well, probably not. How long's he been there? 15 years and counting, probably-ish. It's tough to say, isn't it? I mean, it seems like he could do that job forever, doesn't it? I mean, I hope Brendan Bolton's the next one who lasts for 25 years, delivers 15 flags, all that sort of.
It's not even a confidence. It's just it's just in writing. It's just
he's the coach. So I mean,
in this day and age, no one's the coach of anyone, and really are they? They get a contract.
They're not worth a piece of paper they're written on half the time, are they?
Pretty much, a contract doesn't mean anything these days.
Yeah, it just means that you're entitled to a lump sum of cash if they get rid of
you out. All right, so we don't think so on that.
Probably not. Probably not, Devan.
Devan, another one actually.
Okay, he's really
diff. Will Tom Lynch leave Gold Coast? If so, where?
I think he'll stay.
Is that because he kicked 8 on Liam Jones last week? Should have been 12.
He was good. He was good. I mean, he did no harm for his stock in Victoria on the weekend against Carlton.
Maybe actually, do you know what? Maybe. I was going to say that would have been his ploy to get him to Carlton, but that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, well,
why would you want to pay more for him?
I'd go easier on him in training.
But I actually heard last year, this is going back a while, there's an inside word that Carlton had offered him $2 million a year plus captaincy.
I've got no problems with any of that. I
wouldn't either. Yeah. I think Carlton. I honestly reckon Carlton need to just start throwing their weight around. Just roll the dice on something because the Conservatives not playing. It's not winning.
Well, I think that if you can retain Patrick Cripps, obviously he's a WA boy. I don't think there'll be too many problems with that. But I mean, you sign him, Curnow, Charlie of the Charlie variety. That one. I think that most others. I think you'd be happy to sacrifice a couple if you can land a Tom Lynch. I mean, you sort of start to get your pieces all in order if you can. I mean, Jacob Wearing's not playing great footy at the moment, but I mean, he's only 20, key position play. Marchbank's back there as well. Feel like Carlton got a lot of things in place, but if Tom Lynch is involved, then it's a big yes.
There was your 8 goals.
So he's probably still playing. He's only 35 or something, isn't he? So I mean,
he could be. Put on a few games.
Yeah, but he's lost them all too. He's lost them.
Fluctuating. That's a lot like me.
He's fluctuating.
Next question, Mitch Harris again.
Mitch
from
Tweeter.
You moved on
from
very
Tweeter.
quickly on your weight there, Benny.
I got to move on real quick. Yeah, Mitch, he's becoming a bit of a regular.
A regular viewer.
Mitch, love your work, mate.
Send him a hat.
Have you witnessed any worse broken legs than Tim Broomhead's other than Nathan Brown's? Probably not other than Nathan Brown's for me.
Nah, not at AFL.
Nah.
Played footy with a guy who broke his femur. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I saw a few wrestling ones on YouTube once. That was not a good afternoon.
Those ones are bad was like Tom Scully's on the weekend where the ankle gets caught underneath. Like when Dane Swan hurt his foot up in Sydney that night when it goes underneath and gets crunched. They're pretty bad. But Broomheads was... Yeah, saw a photo on it. And it just didn't even look like there was anything there, did it?
There was a bloke in my team back in the day that our good friend James loved.
James?
Yeah, remember when he tackled the bloke in the ditch for Greensborough?
Is that right?
Just absolutely shattered
That's
his ankle. Game called off, draw.
Called off a draw.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the worst part. They drew it.
we were losing quite comprehensively as well, so we're pretty happy with that.
From the Northern Footy League.
And then the bloke played the next week.
Finals by 2 points as well. So.
God damn.
Oh, there you go.
All right, good question. Who will be the coaching casualties in 2018?
Ooh, great question. Nathan Buckley's a chance, I think, but
safe call.
He's on everyone's radar. He just can't get a break.
Well, I mean, he's the coach of Collingwood. That comes with the. He's got two of them. No, that's not right. That's not right.
Come on.
But Buckley's got the high profile tag of Collingwood coach, doesn't he? I mean, people bay for his blood, and Collingwood fans are probably one and the same in that aspect, aren't they? You know, they demand success, even though their list probably doesn't deserve it. Probably doesn't reflect where it needs to be for success. But I think the other one is Beveridge, Luke Beveridge. There's obviously a lot going wrong at the Dogs. I think that he's
can't have a go at Bevo.
Bevo, the Lord and Saviour.
I think he's
Luke
more
Beveridge.
likely to be sacked than not.
Is that a hot tip? You read that somewhere?
No, I just think. Well, I mean, I'm reading into the way they're playing. They're playing some ordinary football. If this continues,
They are playing ordinary.
If they finish bottom 2 or 3 of the Bulldogs, he'll be sacked. He'll get sacked.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Bottom 2 sacked. Gone.
Bottom 2 or 3, and just they'd have to.
I'll tell you what. I think any other club would be stupid not to snatch him up. Maybe not as a head coach. Maybe Collingwood. It might be a straight swap.
There's just something not. There's something not right at the Bulldogs. I don't know what it. I mean, it might just. It could be anything. I don't know what it is, but I mean, they've gone from being so good for. And everyone's favourite. In 2016, they've said that really purple patch where they came from 7th or 8th on the flag. But at the moment, they're looking at the shadow of their former selves. Half of them don't even look interested. I mean, you start the season the way they have, it's warning signs. So for that particular question, I'd say he's under more pressure than Buckley, Luke Beveridge. I'd say he's
just more of a hidden pressure. You reckon? Not in the limelight.
It's not. As the Bulldogs are not a. They're a little bit, further down the interest totem pole out there in the West. They think they can get away with whatever they want. But
Franco Cozzo will not be happy with that call, I reckon.
No, well,
get down here
and get the coach sacked.
All right, Jakey boy. It's that time of the week.
I'm ready.
You ready? So you're getting around to it?
No, but I'm ready to hear it.
You're ready to hear what?
The Cane Corns of the week.
The Cane Corns of the week.
Who we got?
Cane Corns of the week. King Kong. You meant to have
it's not a jingle, man.
Nah, we're working on a jingle. Fuck, shit. All right, this week. I'm not going to say who it went to straight away. I've been trying to build it up a little bit, but it didn't. I hate it when you give me those eyes. He actually doesn't want a bar of it. He doesn't want it as a segment. It's taken off, whether you like it or not.
It's more just.
It's bigger than us.
It is.
We're getting more tweets about Cane Corns of the week than we are
the hashtag, and then added emoji at the end of it. The hashtag. KCOTW with the corn.
If you are listening,
that was one of our viewers. That was not not UI or Jack,
our social media intern.
Yeah,
who's also our producer.
I don't have Twitter
and demanding
a lot of
workplace rights and those sorts of things.
You'll get them if you're just actually tuning in for the first time. Cane Corns of the Week basically is an award that goes to pretty much someone who's been a bit wankery. Or someone who's a bit of a knob, a bit self-righteous.
Made some errors, but a bit of self-righteous is a good way of putting it. I assume this is your thing. So.
Yeah. So this week, Jake, I was watching a lot of footy over the weekend. I actually watched quite a lot.
There you go. Make up for your round one.
Yeah, I'm trying to make up for it, guys. I'll be watching most of it next week if I'm not away. But something struck my attention at half time of one of the games. I look at my screen, and you know who I see?
An Oz Kid. What time? Yeah, Oz Kid.
No, worse than that.
Worse.
Well, not worse.
Kid. It's coming from the man who wanted to name a bunny after an AFL player and then have kids come through the backyard to pat it.
All right.
Worse than
I've got that one. But it's I look up, and who's on my TV screen? Getting interviewed, by the way, from the Channel 7 commentary team. Razor fucking Ray.
Okay, yep. The umpires.
The umpire.
Wow, round three, and you're cooking umpires.
No, I'm not. Look, okay, I'm not giving Cane Corns of the Week to Razor himself, although he is well deserving because apparently he had personalised boots on the weekend.
I reckon that he could have a monopoly on this award if you, not we.
It's almost too easy.
You decided to go
himself, and I'm not giving it to umpires as a whole. I think they actually do what they got to do.
Yeah, they do.
Who I'm giving it to this week is, now I haven't quite done my research as to the name of the bloke or female. I'm not too sure.
Oh, perfect. It's like doing the Brownlow net gun. The good player from Richmond gets it. Like, I don't know, whoever was the best player, you guys
Kane
decide.
Corns of the Week is going to whoever gave the green light to interviewing umpires at halftime, Jake. What is going on?
Do you think they're trying to humanise them?
I don't think they're trying to humanise them. I think they're just giving them a big ego. And that is seriously dangerous in the game. And I'll tell you why. It's dangerous. Because if you say there's 2 minutes left of the game, it's a really close game, and there's a 50-50 call, hopefully the umpire let those ones go. You know, a little bit high or a little bit in the back, a little bit of push and shove. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that deep in a passionate game.
Yeah.
Now that these umpires are getting interviewed at halftime from the commentary team, what's to say that their ego doesn't get a little bit of the best of them and they start calling those 50-50 calls just to have that little more impact?
The worst one is when they're the non-controlling umpire and you see one.
Oh, yeah, you hear a whistle and it's not Razor, it's whoever the hell's up there.
So umpires
dickhead in a tracksuit.
Yeah, the tracksuit dudes who run on. Guys, cut it out.
We got a couple for next week then.
But fair dinkum. I thought you might have disagreed. I think you're quite progressive with your AFL views with what they're doing with the game. But
egos are the last thing we need on umpires. I think,
absolutely,
because they've got to be as impartial. Well, what's going to be worse is if this ego inflation continues and they start skipping the line at CQ and those sorts of things. That's when we're going to be in real trouble.
They better not be skipping lines at CQ. You have to line up like the rest of it. Well, not us Magoos, because we since this segment alone we've
can't even go
actually
out.
You have to. Well, I do have to carry this when I'm there,
which is kept quite well.
It is. It's in a pristine condition. So now that you guys bagged me about paying $4.50 for it,
I still wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't eat.
I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's hardly pristine. How's it pristine?
The winner from the end of the year will have to eat one of these corns live on the Magoos. There, I said it.
So watch out.
So I'm going to start getting real petty and actually just bag my next door neighbour. He can get it, so we can actually get him on the show.
Perfect.
I think Gillen might be a little bit hard. But this week, round 3, Kane Corns of the Week goes to whoever the guy or girl is who gave the green light on interviewing umpires at halftime.
I like it. There we are.
I love it.
Bang. Put him in the team.
Put him in the team.
There you go.
Yeah. He's in the team. We're going to draw up a board.
Yep, we'll get it.
Actually, they're actually pretty cheap, aren't they? From Rebel. Can I spend money on that?
Nah.
Can't we just write it on the wall or something?
We can't just write it on the wall.
Just get a big texture and just start writing.
When we move out.
Okay, so we are fast running out of time on round 3. It's episode of the Magoos. But I want to run a couple of things by you. I've started to make some observations each week and take a couple of notes and things I want to run by you. A little bit of a yes, no, a quick opinion from you would be really nice. So Damien Hardwick was involved in altercation with a fan. The coaches, brought up a lot of chat about coaches walking through the crowd. Mm-hmm. So what do you think in terms of, first of all, how Hardwick reacted? I read a thing today. One of the guys who was sitting in front of the instigator of that little altercation was on the radio today in Adelaide and said that all he said was, you're not so good when you don't play at the MCG all the time or something. And Hardwick turned around and gave him a spray to end all sprays.
Okay.
So,
if true, a little precious from Hardwick.
It's a little bit like that, isn't it? Because he really gave him a proper spray. Do the coaches have to be walking through the crowd?
I hate to sound like Luke Darcy on this matter, but I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence. Number 1 fence sitter, by the way, Luke Darcy.
Oh, whack.
Because I see both sides. I mean, they shouldn't have to cop the shit, but at the same time, it's footy.
Is that even copping shit, though?
Well, if that's true...
you're better at a different location.
It must have been the straw. It would have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Legitimately must.
I don't mind that. I liked it because there wasn't any... there actually nothing ended up happening.
Yeah.
But I love seeing that. At least it means that Hardwick's passionate.
And
who else is passionate? Clarkson, and he's pretty successful.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to see more passion from other...
Maybe that's it. More...
We've got a live question in the audience. He's put his hand up this time. Sammy, what do you want?
Welcome, Sammy.
Clarkson not knock out a Port fan.
Do you want to...
Do you want to...
the question was...
Did Alistair Clarkson not punch out a Port fan a few years ago?
Yes.
But across the bridge or something, wasn't he walking?
No, it was like around the race, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, outside a hotel.
Yeah, but if you look at that footage, Clarko was literally backed into a corner from like 3 of them. And I've heard... Again, I bagged South Australia last week.
He was forced to punch?
No one's ever forced to punch, Samuel. Thanks for the secondary question. But if you watch that footage, they are like in his personal space. Again, you probably don't need to push. He did have security too. But Clark, we do know Clark has a hot head.
Okay.
But I bloody love that about him.
Okay, one more thing just before we go. We saw Optus Stadium.
Yeah.
Your boys went over there and were humbled by Fremantle.
Yeah.
Gold Coast play there this week against Freo as a home game due to the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
And then they play the Eagles there the week after, which is a away game. So they're staying the stretch.
Yeah.
So they're really getting comfortable at Optus Stadium. But what I saw at Optus Stadium...
Would that mean they'll play more games there than West Coast?
Well, not
They played their second game there when West Coast played their second game. No, West Coast played there this weekend. Sorry. Go on. Apologies.
No worries. So the light show that was Optus Stadium, the Christmas tree that it turned into.
The epileptic nightmare.
Yeah, I mean...
Simpsons episode.
So I put a little Twitter poll out there if it was too much or a great spectacle.
Yeah.
58% of voters said too much, 42% said great spectacle. And I thought it would be 95-5, too much. I thought it was just like, well, I was watching it on the television, and it was terrible. It was just, the players were shaking hands on the ground and it was black.
I
and
like
then
the
it was lit up.
idea. I like the idea.
Yeah, it needs a bit of tweaking, doesn't it? Because we had a tweet from Melanie who said that she was at the game and loved it, but so she wanted me to delve into what percentage of the voters were at the game. And
all right. So
I'm not sure if she thinks I'm working.
Yeah. Well, I reckon the
doing
way
a
you would
or something, but
make that better.
the Bureau of Stats, it's just a Twitter poll. But
chill out. It's not a Brexit. I reckon the way to get around that is send BT to the rooms early. As soon as it finishes on the broadcast, cut it off or cut it to BT in the rooms. He can interview the bloody water boy for a couple of minutes if he has to. That way the people at the ground get to view it and love it, and we don't have to have an epileptic fit in front of the TV.
Ben, you are solving the world's problems.
It's not what I'm here for, but I'm doing it anyway.
Okay, Carlton Collingwood.
The curtain raiser.
This evening.
Woo.
Very soon.
Big rivalry.
Both 0-2.
Both 0-2.
Both
Someone's got to win.
I reckon it's going to be a draw.
You reckon? Are you tipping a draw? Can you lock that in?
I think with all the injuries at Collingwood, I think you boys might get up.
Okay, I'll go for Carlton too. Round 3 of the Magoos in the books.
You've done well, Jake.
In the books.
Very well.
Another good show.
Yeah,
well done, boys.
Thank you for all listening, watching. Oh, also, we will be getting the podcast out soon enough. We are still just a show at the moment, but we will be getting the audio file out as a podcast. So bear with us.
That'll be good. People will be able to listen to it on their daily
because not everyone
commute.
has time to watch.
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch this back.
Yeah. I guess
You watch
not.
it 5 times.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Catch you later.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.